Gary G with the Inland Valley News reporting here at the LA Stadium, the home of the Chargers and the Rams. Should be a fantastic venue once it's completed. Scheduled completion date 2020. Stay tuned. So what is a typical day? You start at 4. What time do you normally end?
Usually 4 to 5, and then head on home, and then on the phone. And I've taught myself to just shut it down after that, to kind of regroup, and then come back, and then and we can do that because we have a group of people that understand that and work together and how we can hand this off. There's a group of people that take the swing shift. There's a group of people that take the night shift. And that allows us to go ahead and re-energize ourselves so that we don't burn ourselves out. But what you find in this industry, especially if you're running work, you get a passion for this, you can't wait to get back to it. And that's what I still love personally about it, is that I'm waiting at the signal out here on Century and can't wait for the light to turn. And I'm serious about that, I mean that. That's important because you want to be able to get that build because you can see the build coming together. And if you see that and you generate it and we get the rest of the team all together on that, then we can make anything happen.
What is your position?
I'm a vice president of field operations, in charge of the field operations.
And for which company exactly?
This is for Turner Hunt AECOM joint venture.
I see.
So AECOM and Turner together with Hunt is a combination joint venture of this.
How would you say the project is going? Are you ahead of schedule? On time with the schedule? What would you say?
We're on schedule.
Okay.
I would say we're on schedule, and more importantly, we have met challenges and milestones that we have set forth. We have some other big milestones ahead of us. One of them is this precast, and we're on track right now to go ahead and make that date. That will give us a comfort level of where we need to be at with this roof structure, because this stadium is not over until we get this roof structure going, and we get a comfort level on where that roof structure is at the time.
So you have the precast for the seating, correct?
Yes, correct.
And then the next milestone will be the roofing?
The next milestone will actually be the compression ring completing the round full circle.
Okay.
All the way over past this blade column right here. So that whole assembly has been made on the ground. That particular one was 2.4 million pounds. This is the compression ring. It consists of 2,077 pieces of steel. The structural steel is assembled off-site right over here. You can see over there, and it's actually trailered over. This is called a DMAG. This is a 1,700-ton crane capacity to go ahead and pick these members. So there's 30-plus members that go into place. The first one we picked was 1,155 tons. That's 2,310,000 pounds. So the idea is that this crane is brought in, actually it was built back in Germany, brought in from a company from the Netherlands. It actually was working in Louisiana. It takes 238 trucks to bring it in to the job site. If you're wondering why, it keeps the whole speed of the process up. So the first pick right now, we've picked up 3 of them. The first one was 2.4 million pounds with all the rigging. So that's why we have such a large crane. This is instrumental for the compression ring. But if you look up there, you can even see we started the lights even on top of it. So this compression ring goes around the entire bowl and then goes over into the performance venue area as well. And once that's all in place, on the back side of this is a catwalk system and what's called a node. So actual arena.
Talk about the stability of the crane, being able to set them in place, because you know you got a little bit of wind going on.
Right.
How do you stabilize it to set them in place and to bolt it down?
So the crane sits on what's called a grillage or crane mats. So there are mats, steel mats that it's sitting on place. We go through and we actually bring this soil material up to a certain capacity and a compaction, and then the engineers go ahead and design that. We have Karen in our office helps put that whole plan together. She is instrumental in making sure we're getting the compaction and what, more importantly, what the strength needs to be to go ahead and factor in to what she wants in place. We set that whole system in place. Crane sits on top of that, and it's going ahead and it's ready to introduce the load that we put up into the overall position.
How's the speed of going as far as the placement of the ring?
So we're on our 4th section, ready to set, scheduled for this weekend, and we're right on track with where we want to be on that. And coming around the back corner, we're going through a really difficult point right over here, but we're getting around. The north elevation is also a difficult, challenging area as well. And once we get past that point, we'll get to the home ring at the very end to tie that all together in the first quarter of next year.
Now, when you place it, a ring, now you have to move the crane.
You move the crane every single time, yes.
Yeah, how much work is that involved?
It could take days. So there's about a week in between each one, but in front of that, we're setting the isolator. So as it sits on these blade columns, there's an isolator that allows movement of 81 inches. And so it sits on that. So the welding process and the grouting, which is not the most dramatic part, but that actually becomes a critical path of the job. And as the meantime, while we're setting that up, we're relocating that crane, we're tracking it into position based on that design I was telling you about. And we go ahead and put that in position. We move the section over, we make the critical pick, and you can see on that rigging that has strand jacks. And so it actually takes the piece and sets it by the computer. We program in exactly what position it needs to be in. We make the lift and put it in place.
So it's computerized?
Some of it.
And now how many operators operate the crane?
There's actually one operator in the seat, and there's another operator that helps out with what's called tuggers, and it's moving the piece back and forth. But there's a gang of about 15 that actually put the whole piece together. There's iron workers up inside. My whole name is Michael Marchesano. I'm a vice president of field operations.